Alright, you guys thought I was finished for the day, but no, I am just getting started. So, we'll be reacting to DocTrey81 again. Now, this is going to be a completely different topic from the last video. In this video, he's basically talking about, the game keycard situation regarding Nintendo. DocTrey81 is just so hung up on like third-party support for Nintendo. He really just wants that third-party support, man. He's got to have it. And while I could kind of understand why, I really don't understand why he thinks that's going to be like the big push for Nintendo, or why he thinks that it's somehow going to make it to where people will stop purchasing other consoles and they'll just stick with Nintendo. Because let me tell you something right now, there's a lot of goofballs who will still buy an Xbox or a PlayStation, or they already have those systems and they're just by default they're gonna buy any third-party game for that system, and they'll just buy the exclusives for Nintendo. Because even though people say that they don't care that much about graphics and shit, well, they're a bunch of fucking liars. They still do. They're still hung up on graphics, still hung up on which game's gonna have the most impressive lighting and details and shit. And so you'll see a lot of YouTubers be like, that's cool that Nintendo's getting this third-party game, but I still think I'm gonna pick it up for my PlayStation 5 because it's gonna have the better graphics. You still have these fucking morons like that. So I really don't think Nintendo should prioritize trying to bring as much third-party over to their console as much. And I think the reason why Nintendo made their system more powerful is for their own games. It's so we could have great big games like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, etc. But let's see what DocTrey81 has to say. Let's hear him out.
What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo. DocTrey still holding it down, still make the best games, and this, bro, it's true. You don't like it, you have it. With all the negativity surrounding the game key cards on the Nintendo Switch 2, it's kind of baffling to me that it would literally take one statement, just one statement from Nintendo to turn this whole situation around. And for whatever reason, Nintendo has yet to do this.
Here's why I think that is. Because Nintendo can care less about fucking third parties. They don't give a shit about them. They want their games outselling every other third-party game out there on their system. That's what Nintendo wants. They want their games selling 10 to 20 to 30, maybe even 50 million copies. So why have these big third-party games flood their system the way that it happened to PlayStation and Xbox, when they could just keep selling their awesome games that people are going to buy? Because here's the thing, you look at the PlayStation charts, you look at the Xbox charts, guess which games are dominating their charts? Third-party games. Now, obviously Nintendo by default makes the best games, and their games are probably still going to outsell the third-party games. They probably still will outsell them, but they're going to sell even more if there's none of those third-party games on their system to begin with. So
now, if you agree with what I'm saying in this video, do me a favor and send this video to Nintendo's socials so that we can see that they definitely need to address this issue. And it's a very...
I like guys, yeah, send this to Nintendo's socials. They need to address it. Dude, you really think Nintendo doesn't know this? Now look, there's been times where I'm just like, what the fuck is Nintendo doing? Are they really this out of touch or whatever? But when it comes to this topic right here, I'm pretty sure Nintendo understands what is going on with the third-party situation. And I am pretty sure that they simply just do not want third-party games to be flooded on the Switch 2. And they want their games to continue to sell in droves, not the fucking third-party games. I think that's what is going on, and I don't blame Nintendo. And you know what? Let me just tell you something, DocTrey. It is third party that needs Nintendo. Nintendo does not need third party. They don't need them. Third party needs Nintendo. And that's why these third party developers, they're like, man, we really want to put our games on the Switch 2, but we hadn't received any dev kits or anything. You know, they're the ones wanting to put their games on the Switch too. I don't think it's the other way around, and I think that's because of the fact that, you know, they're the idiots who spend hundreds and hundreds of $1,000,000 to make these overrated games that don't end up selling that well. So it's like they desperately want to put their games on the Switch too, or on just the regular Switch for that matter. But you know what? Fuck all of them. Seriously, fuck them. Fuck their games. We only need Nintendo's awesome exclusives. We don't need these overrated third-party games.
Very simple issue to address. So while there are people out there that will never, or claim that they will never, ever, 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 ever buy a game key, the large majority of people that have issues with game keys are because of one specific thing. And that's the fact that because these game keys rely on you to download the game, people are weary of buying these game key games because they do not know when Nintendo will stop allowing you to re-download these games. And that is the major issue here. And it's crazy to me that after all of this negativity around game keys, that Nintendo has not thought to address this. All that they have to do, all that they have to really say to fix the majority of the negativity around game keys is simply give a guaranteed time for how long you will have access to downloading these game keys.
Okay, yeah, maybe that is the main reason. Or maybe it's because people are hypocrites and they're just looking for reasons to, you know, shit on Nintendo. Because here's the thing, there's a lot of stupid-ass PC gamers who are crying about the game keycard situation, and that's fucking hypocritical because they buy all their games digitally. They buy most of their games digitally. They can care less about owning physical games. So you have to keep that in mind, Doctor. You have to keep in mind that there's just a bunch of stupid-ass hypocrites, man. And that's the main reason. Now, there's probably a lot of people, yes, I've seen people who genuinely buy their games physical, and they're probably upset about all this game keycard stuff and whatnot. But like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's because Nintendo just don't give two shits about these third-party games, and they're more focused on selling their own first-party games. That is what matters. That's the only thing that should matter, and I want Nintendo to keep doing that. I want Nintendo to keep, you know, shutting these third-party companies out, so that way it's their game selling, and that way these third parties can all go out of business, you know. And people who are going to get mad at get mad about me saying that, they're probably fucking hypocrites, because right now there's a lot of idiots on the internet who are just like, these third-party AAA developers suck, all these AAA studios suck, indies are the best, it's all about the indies. So I don't want to hear it from you idiots if you try to make me out to be a bad guy for not giving a shit about these AAA third-party studios.
If I worked for Nintendo, I would have been announced that, you know, yeah, we know you guys, some of the customers are not happy with our game key solution, but rest assured, you will be able to re-download and download these game key games for your library as long as Nintendo is around.
Well, you don't work for Nintendo, and it's a good thing you don't, because I don't think you know what's best for Nintendo. I don't think you had the same mindset, you don't have the same mentality. The fact that all you seem to care about is like the third-party games kind of shows that. So, two different mindsets there, Doc Trey. By the way, why do you always use the same damn Mario emote? It's always this same Mario character with Mario looking puzzled, that he always just uses this. You know, come on, use some other characters for once. Good night.
We're up to for the next 50 years or something crazy like that. Something so long that it's not even a question of if you should worry about downloading these games and buying these game keys. If Nintendo were to offer today and guarantee, hey, those game key games, those third-party game key games on the Switch 2, you will have access to downloading those games. You will have access to your game keys forever. Or as long as Nintendo is around, you will be able to download your game keys.
Well, again, like, this is not Nintendo's problem. This is third-party developers' problem. If they want to keep being stupid and not putting their full game, their entire game on the cartridge, the way CD Projekt did with Cyberpunk, that's their problem, dude. Let that be their problem, all right? I mean, I just want to know, Doc Trey, do you purchase these game key cards? Are you fine with the game key cards? Because it seems like you are. It seems like the only thing bothering you is the fact that Nintendo's not, pushing some message out there that, hey, you could always re-download these games no matter what. It's going to be around forever. That seems to be your only issue about this, is the fact that they're not pushing this message in order to help boost the sales for third-party games on the Switch too. And it's like, okay, like, dude, why is that even your problem? All right, if you're a Nintendo fan, if you're a Nintendo fanboy like me, your problem should just be whether Nintendo continues to push out great exclusives and first-party games. That's the only thing that really matters. I could care less about these damn third-party games, and I think that's how Nintendo sees it as well.
Guarantee you, if they made that statement and they made that guarantee, the negativity, most of the negativity around game keys would dramatically shift.
I don't think so, Doc Trey, because I think there's still going to be a lot of fucking hypocrites bitching and moaning about it. Okay? There's still going to be a lot of people crying about it. I mean, these dumbasses act like this whole thing with having to download a game to your cartridge was only a Nintendo thing. This kind of bullshit was happening since like the Xbox One, to my knowledge, at least. And it's even worse than that. I mean, I have a game called For Honor by Ubisoft on my Xbox One, and I could barely play the damn thing because it requires Wi-Fi. And even though I do have good Wi-Fi, every now and then it's like if the Wi-Fi just goes bad a little bit, it takes me right out of the damn game. It loses the connection, and then I can't play it. So, and the fact that has not got as much outrage as Nintendo's game key cards, look, that just kind of shows you that, there's just fucking idiots on the internet. There's losers who are going to cry about Nintendo no matter what. And you're saying these criticisms would disappear. Like, nah, I don't think so. I think you'll still have people bitch and moan and cry about it. I don't think they'll disappear. I really don't think that.
Because that is, at the base, the main reasons for the negativity around the game keys. People are worried that they might lose access to these games in the future. But if Nintendo comes out and guarantees that will never happen, then the negativity will magically, for the most part, disappear. Now, like I said, there's still going to be the diehards who are like, oh, it has to be the whole thing on the cart or I'm not buying. Despite the fact that even when you get a game that's fully on the cart, with all of these updates and all of this other things that they do, even if...
Let me pause real quick. So he said that, he's saying all Nintendo has to do is say that whatever games they download to their game key card, they will always be there forever. They don't have to worry about anything. Now, look, I'm not really an expert here, but could that possibly open them up to, potential lawsuits if, that's not the case? If their games aren't going to be around forever to be downloaded? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure. I have seen people say that. Maybe they're wrong. I don't know. It's possible Nintendo could do this. But again, like I said, I think it's just Nintendo not caring about third party, caring more about their first party games, as they should.
You technically have the full game the launch game on the cart, if they remove access to those updates and the things that they added in all of those patches, you will have the full game on the disc, but you're going to have the pre-day one patch version. So it's not, even if you have the full game on the disc, it's still not going to, if you lose access to those downloads, it's going to lose content and it's going to not perform as well. So that's the crazy part. Even if you do have the game fully on the cart, if there's a lot of updates or the games or improvements and firmware patches and stuff like that, if you lose access to that, even if you do have the full game on the cart, you're going to have the game before all those improvements anyway. So it's still not going to be the same game, which sucks. But yeah, all Nintendo has to do is give Nintendo Switch 2 owners a guarantee.
I disagree. All Nintendo has to do is keep pumping out first-party games, and they're going to succeed, while third parties are going to fail. That's all Nintendo has to do. Anyways, I am done reacting to DocTrey81. You need to stop, worrying about these third-party games, dude. All right, Nintendo's giving us a shit ton of great first-party games. Get with the program, get on board, DocTrey81, and start marking out for Nintendo's great first-party games. Stop worrying about these stupid third-party games. They can all go to hell. Fuck their trash games. We don't need them. There's a few decent ones out there, sure. Cyberpunk was a really fun game. I enjoyed it. Those Resident Evil games look fun. I might maybe get those, but it's really just Nintendo games that I'm picking up right now. And then you even have like the few third-party or indie exclusive games like what was that one that everyone's talking about right now? Hades 2. You got Hades 2. I mean, that's starting to look a little bit better. I'm starting to hear a lot of good things about that game, so I might pick that up later on down the road. But until then, I'm just going to keep focusing on building on my library with just Nintendo first party and third party exclusives, and that's about it. And you should do the same. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Even if you don't like my YouTube channel, if you don't like my takes, hit subscribe anyways. Hit the like button anyways. And be sure to leave as many comments as possible. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.